What's up, Starcraft fans? Today we're doing the tier list for choices on Temple of the Past. Brian, let's hear the mutation.
Temple of the Past is the map where we have to protect a temple in the center of the map from waves of enemy units. If the temple survives until the end of the game, we win. If the enemies destroy the temple, we lose. Hybrids buff their friends, reduce each shot to 10 damage unless they're alone, and they also detonate nukes upon death.
Alright, so I have Twotuuu and Evil Ling in the call with us today. How are you guys?
Doing great.
So far, so good.
I'm trying to copy Evil Ling's copy Evil Ling's photo with my own face. Hey Zeus, why don't you put them side by side? Who did it better? Alright. Twotuuu, how will we rank the commanders this week?
So this combination, the Hardened Will and Inspiration combination has appeared many times on this map several times already. It's just that this time the hybrids explode. So that's basically the commanders with sacrificial units or ones that can
Hardened
hit and run
shields
will do better. Also AoE matters so that you get rid of Hardened Will.
Yes. So how about you, Evil Ling?
Pretty much that sums it up. Commanders, either very sacrificial army that you can replace on the quick, or if they have a hard army that hits hard but can't run away, they're screwed.
Yeah, the only thing I'd add is hardened shields would be very helpful here. For example, Boy's Zerglings and what's his face? Blaze. Anyway, let's begin. Abathur, where do we have him?
So Abathur, he has to do his usual slow early game. However, nothing's really dangerous until 6 minutes, and by that time you should be able to get a Brutalisk. And if it's an air hybrid, you can kill it and run away before it explodes, since there's like time for you to run. It's like a 2-second delay. If you're fighting against mostly ground, then Toxic Nests can kill the hybrid. Hopefully all the air units are gone before you like run away and let the hybrid walk on Toxic Nest. Later on, you should be able to get Swarm Hosts, and those are sacrificial free units that can hold them far away. So I put him in B. The usual.
All right. How about you, Evil Ling?
I actually had him in S. Temple of
S.
the Past, Abathur's one of his strongest maps, since he's able to farm early, and as Twotuuu said, it's nothing's gonna come out until the hybrids start popping up. So my kind of litmus test is even P3 is somewhat viable here. P1 is viable because it becomes you have disposable army, and if they get blasted by a hybrid, then the biomass stays. It doesn't disappear from the map. So even if you have a max biomass roach, muta or something, that biomass is forever on that map. You have Vipers that can help you control the waves, so you can kind of steer parts of the waves away so that the hybrid is kind of on its own, and you can concentrate on the smaller units before you take out the hybrid. And yeah, P2, endless locusts to just attack the waves and be freely replaced.
What do you say to that, Twotuuu?
I don't know if it's like so easy. He's strong on the map, but I don't think like he makes it so easy that you don't have to do anything. But like it's really easy to just beat. I don't think it's that level of strong.
That's fair. But also, most of the other commanders will have to put in a good amount of effort against this. So I think S in relative to my other S's.
Interesting. Are you convinced, Twotuuu?
No, because I think everyone has to work at least a little. I have very few S's for this one because they had to do at least something. Otherwise, you're gonna lose your stuff.
So,
well, I'm willing to concede to A. I mean, I get where Twotuu's coming from. That there's not going to be many S's, and kind of adjusting my bar accordingly.
I actually initially had Abathur in A for both of their points. I just realized something. When hybrids nuke, they will kill all the locusts nearby, and I don't actually remember how long it takes for the swarmers to respawn the locusts for Abathur. Is it fast enough that the hybrids don't actually make any progress moving across, or do you have to inch your swarm hosts further back? When there are more hybrids.
In the late game, you gotta fight like 5-6 of them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If for example the one hybrid detonates, it takes all the locusts with them. There are 4 more, and your entire locust wave is gone. So the hybrid proceeds forward for however long, and you may or may not have a charge of locusts at that time. That's the one thing that actually makes me reconsider putting him down to B. I actually had him in A, but I'm actually considering putting him down to B. What do you think, Eviling?
I would be okay with A or B.
Okay, I had him A. I'm okay with B. How about you, Twotuuu? Are you okay with A?
Well, towards the early game for this map is not that hard. It's when there's like 4 or 5 hybrid at the same time. That's when the problem starts. You can stop the hybrids from attacking you, so you could kill the Hardened Will stuff. But the explosions can't be stopped by Vipers. So if you lose too much stuff,
That's what I was thinking.
Also, against Protoss, the ground hybrids, they detonate. They have a big explosion, and they are melee. So Protoss early on can be quite a problem.
So
Yeah, the Vipers won't be able to stop the explosions, but they can buy you a little space where if you have a unit that can kite like a Brutalist, then you can get that little extra wiggle room to hopefully minimize how much blast you can be taking.
you know what? The more I think about it, the more he's closer to B. Then maybe we can discuss later on if other guys will move him along. We'll put him in B for now. Yeah. Alarak, where do we have him?
Alarak, kind of, well, I guess I have him in S because he has the ability to shove stuff away. So if like you're about to kill one of the red hybrids, you can shove him pretty far away from you before the blast goes off. And hopefully you have like an ascendant to mind blast it and get rid of it. He has just the fact that he has that ability to shove stuff away, to shove all the nukes away, is to me would be an S, and I would be okay with the A now that I'm kind of curbing my or adjusting my scale relative to everyone else.
What do you think, Twotuuu?
I feel like, especially with the tunas, like they fly past your stuff.
I still can't get over with that tuna thing. It's not a tuna.
I don't know where it came from, but
Our master started it.
The
Our master
Nemesis.
started it.
the Nemesis,
He has-
like especially if it's an air wave, there's like 5 of them. They just fly past your stuff.
Yeah.
And if they explode on
Quite
your army,
annoying.
you're just gonna lose everything.
I agree.
So it's like it requires quite a lot of like unit management to avoid dying to those. Like you can have Wrathwalkers, but Wrathwalkers shoot while moving, so that's good. But like also you might kill the hybrid when you didn't mean to. So that also an issue. He has the tools, like you can have Alarak just sit in front and take explosions and eat supplicants, but that requires like good spacing to make sure that only Alarak gets exploded and no one else. So for me, I put him in B as well. Since he has good AoE, he has all the tools, but you gotta like be really careful.
So
I'm gonna say right now, a lot of people are in B because of this.
from my perspective, when Growing Threat was first introduced, that was the first time we had mutually assured destruction, and a lot of people had problems with hybrids detonating their faces. One of the first solutions that Monk discovered was using Alarak with Ascendants, because you can just mind blast the hybrid at a safe distance, and for the waves, you can just do the psionic orbs to clear them out and effectively remove the hardened shields, so that the rest of the hybrids will just be mind blastable, if that's a word. That's why in my mind he's A for me. What do you think about that, Twotuuu?
I can see that. I don't know how easy or difficult it would be to do that, or to get to like enough ascendants so that you can just wipe out a wave.
Fair point.
With no problem.
Fair point. I haven't played it as Alarak myself, but that's how I imagine doing it, and that's also what I did for Growing Threat. Of course, that one didn't have hard shields. That was a different one, but that's how I dealt with hybrid using Alarak, not Wrathwalkers. So with that, we have one S, one A, and one B. Do we just average it out to A?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
All right. Arcturus, where do you have him?
So he has ESOs, which can take care of ground hybrid and ground enemies, but against air, they don't do anything. So you're gonna P3, like you might, if you're fighting air, you're gonna need to send some dudes in and suicide them. And probably need to do that against the hybrid as well. If they're melee, the melee ones, you'll lose some bunkers, but that's for each one, you'll lose a bunker.
Yes.
So Protoss ground hybrid, you're gonna lose a lot of stuff.
Inhumane.
Yeah. Protoss ground as in like ground hybrid, not necessarily ground enemy. I also have him in B because he has the AoE, but you're gonna lose a lot of stuff if you're not careful.
How about you, Eviling?
I also have him be pretty much what you guys just mentioned. If you have to deal with any melee stuff, anything that's going to come, you're going to take losses. And yeah, Manx is known for being inhumane, but you only can take so many losses before it really eats into your income. And you only can do that so many times. And Tempo to Pass comes at you pretty hard, like consistently hard. So I don't know if you'll be able to sustain it if you get a nasty comp.
That just made me realize Arcturus can't sustain his inhumanity, not because he has a conscience, but because he has a limit on his bank account.
Yep.
I actually had him in
buy his wallet.
also B, but I was wondering, would the contaminated strike stop the waves from just going to the temple? Will that work?
Yes, it does stop the waves, but it doesn't stop the hybrids.
Oh, okay, the hybrids will keep going.
Hybrids will keep going.
Oh, that's painful. Well, at least you've isolated them. But yeah, that's if the hybrids don't stop, then the problem remains. Yeah, I agree with B. Let's have him B.
Yeah, if you hit the waves, you can get rid of inspiration and Hardened Will.
Yeah.
So that kind of mitigates it, but you still have to deal with
the
nukes coming into your face.
Yes.
So yeah.
And that is the hard part. Artie, where do we have him?
Artanis, I have him at B. He has the range. He has protection if things go really nasty. But yeah, it's still gonna be a little clunky. You're still gonna take quite a few losses.
How about you, Twotuuu?
I feel like if you use P3, you get your AoE, but you don't have and sacrificial like fodder to hold the enemies and the hybrid in place. But you lose Guardian Shell, so you can't take hits. If you don't use P3, you don't have much AoE until you get High Templar, and depending on the enemy comp, High Templar might not even be enough. So like you can storm a few times, but they might not all die. And if you don't, again, it's the melee enemies. So if they walk up to you and you can't like keep your distance, you have to split your army, or if you don't, then you lose everything. And the waves hit pretty hard and pretty frequently. So if you can't amass a big enough army, he's gonna not do much. So I think he's not very good for this one. I put him in D.
D. Wow, that's all the way down. I actually had him in C. not high either. Sorry, Sticksbender. I actually had him in C because I just don't have faith in his units just to kill the hybrids fast enough and also dodge. I'm sure guys like Sticksbender can do it. They're really good at Artanis. I don't doubt his Artanis abilities. I just doubt that we can recommend him to everyone. I had him in C. For all the same reasons, he can't really deflect the hybrid without sustaining considerable losses. And speaking of hybrid, his only reliable method to deal with air hybrid is Dragoons. They're not very mobile, I don't think. And yeah, they have to deal with the other stuff on top of that, with the waves. I don't think he's as bad as D per se. What would you say makes him D rather than C, Twotuuu?
Well, because the ones I have in C are better than him.
Fair point. Are you convinced, Eviling?
To knock him down to D? I mean, considering just P3, yeah, I can definitely see D. If like P1, you have much stronger storms. Your immortals can take hits a little bit better. I don't know about D. I'm still waning on that. C, I can definitely agree with.
Right. So can we just put him in C for now and then demote later if the need arises? All right. Dehaka, where do we have him?
So this one I'm not sure if he should be A or B, but so Creeper Host's pretty good, but if you hit the hybrid instead of the other stuff, then the Hardened Will kind of negates them.
Yes.
You can hold the hybrid in place with a pack leader, and they could take a few nukes, which is good. Glevik, he doesn't have as much life, but he has great AoE to clear out everything. If you can keep your distance and like manually target with a Creeper Host, so that you kill everything but you kill the regular enemies first, then you don't waste your shots. Then you can like summon a Primal Worm or something and then finish them off. I would say A or B. I'm not sure which one. Maybe A.
What do you think, Eviling?
I have him for A. His P2, I mean, the tanky pack leader is going to be doing a lot of work. And I would struggle to see how someone would pull it off with P1 or P3. I mean, yeah, you can use his roar to slow things and kind of do some crowd control while you maneuver things around. But yeah, your pack leaders are going to be doing majority of the work.
Yeah, I had him in A because I was thinking actually the regular primal hosts, they don't all detonate on the same target, so they can keep firing and you can just keep throwing them. But I'm not sure how effective they are when there are lots of hybrids. But I still have an A because pack eaters, like you guys said. How effective do you think primal hosts are? Or if you mix them, some primal hosts, some creeper hosts, will they be effective in holding the waves of hybrids?
I think so.
I would just use regular primal worms to hold the hybrids.
Primal worms. All right, fair.
Because you're gonna float minerals anyways.
Yeah, I had him in A. Are we all okay with A?
Yeah.
Yep. Great. Without prestige, still A?
No, I think without prestige, you
Maybe
might
B.
B?
Yeah.
All right, nice. Phoenix, where do we have him?
Phoenix. Have them in S. Throw angry zealot at them, angry adept, and pretty much keep on sending it until they go down.
I'd
And
also
if they
add-
blow up, oh, big whoop.
Send
Yeah,
the
more
next
angry
guy.
stuff. Yep.
I would also add Wrath, the Warbringer there, because he has that shooty thingy, which deals a lot of damage. How about you, Twotuuu?
So against a ground comp, he is definitely S. But against air, I don't think he can like manage, because he can't hit the nemesis, the air hybrid. And if it's pattern B, later on they come like 3 to 6 of them at a time, and he can't do anything. So he can kill all the enemies on the ground, but then you'll still need stuff to deal with the flying hybrid. And sometimes they like to fly past your
That's my
stuff
concern.
too,
Yeah,
so
that's my concern.
so like you gotta have like cannons or something.
My solution to that is
Stealth.
actually the Arbiter suit with the stasis. Oh no, you don't. Is my solution to that.
I'll
But
deal with you
mean-
in a few minutes.
a few minutes,
few seconds.
a few seconds. Yeah, that's a lot of time for Angry Zealot to work with, I think. And I think maybe we can have Mojo or something. Anyway,
Mojo.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna need Mojo no matter what, but it's
Yeah.
like when there are lots of air hybrid and you can't like pick Phoenix and just
Hope it's
for
ground.
perfect comp every time.
yes. So where do you have him?
I put him in B because
B.
like if it's ground, he's super good, but if it's not ground, then he's not really good.
So is that his lower end? Like is he B if it's air, or is he C if it's air?
If it's since you can't expect, like you don't know what comp you're fighting, I would put him in. I would say like if you're fighting heavy air plus air hybrid, then he's like C.
Oh.
You can't really.
What do you think, Evelyn?
And the possibility of air hybrids like 50%, like
True.
because pattern A or B.
True.
Yeah, I will have to defer to Twotuu's judgment because he's put in the hours for this. The fact that he said that he has very few S's, and I see where he's coming from, but that's unfortunate for Phoenix. But for Twotuuu, you said B, C.
He said
B.
B.
C. B if it's ground, C if it's in air.
No, he said S if it's ground and C if it's air or heavy air. If it's light air, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. He
If it's light
basically
air, it's like doable.
he basically averaged it to B.
Okay, got it. Yeah, B I can definitely go with.
Yeah, I actually had him in A. Since both of you had him in B, let's have him in B. Hardened Horner, where do we have him?
Hardened Horner is not that bad.
Yeah.
Because they have so much top bar. So a lot of the fighting is done by top bars. And even if the enemy has some air units, you drop mag mines. Or you grab a few Reapers and you throw them in, and then you like target down stuff and then let them die.
And just remake the Reapers.
Yeah, but if you're not careful, you lose your galleons. That's gonna suck.
That's true.
The explosions will kill the interceptors from the carriers, which also sucks. I put them in C. They're fine, but you gotta be good at top bar usage, and you gotta hope the enemy is mostly ground.
What do you think, Eveling?
So I have them in D, but C, I would like them to be in C because C requires you to have a very good competency on Hardened Horner. So Hardened Will is not gonna be a major thing if if you're pumping Reapers, and that's how you get past that. With good usage of your top bars, but you take one bad engagement and it starts to go downhill real quick. You lose a couple galleons. Galleons take forever to build, and how Temple Pass goes, it just keeps on coming at you. So losing all your galleons due to one sneaky little hybrid is going to pretty much be close to game ending.
All right, so
C I can
Eveling
go with,
says
but
C.
I
Twotuuu also says
would-
C. All right. Actually, original have in B, but both of you guys say C, so let's have him in C. Karax, where do we have him?
Karax. I have him in S. I mean, space lasers, you blow stuff up and detonate the nuke, and hopefully you don't detonate it near your base or near your ally or yourself.
How about you, Twotuuu?
He's good, but again, not as good just because like melee. If you aren't like knowledgeable, or like if you're not sure about how to place your buildings and you just clump them up like you usually do, you're gonna lose a lot of buildings. So you want to like spread buildings, have sacrificial cannons and stuff, and then you can like use your top bar to clear most of the enemies, but then and the hybrid later on. The nemesis like to fly past and
Yes.
like hit your stuff directly, so they might explode on your static defense. So I put him in A because Unity Barrier is good, everything is good, but bad building placement, if you don't think about what you're doing, if you're just playing like because you think it's just the same as always, you're gonna lose a lot of stuff.
All right, Eviling, will you make a case for S?
Nope, I'm totally on board with that because, I mean, it's saying that you need to have a high skill ceiling and understanding of how the map is going, how to deal with the mutator, spacing things out, which can't expect that of too many people. So
That works
yeah,
for me.
A is fine.
A is fine. Without prestige, still A?
You still do the same thing, I guess.
Relatively, yeah. You just have to
Oh.
be a little more optimal in
Lower
getting
A?
your chrono energy going. I mean, your SOA energy going.
Lower A then? All right. Kerrigan, where do we have him?
Kerrigan, I have her in C because, I mean, yeah, you can make Omega Worms to delay waves, but the bulk of your power is coming from Kerrigan, and she can carry the early game, but once the hybrids start coming out, that could be a big issue. And once you lose Kerrigan, you lose a lot of that power.
Yes. So what do you think, Twotuuu?
Early on, when you're fighting like one-on-one, it's fine. But later on, especially if it's the Reaver, hybrid Reaver, they just explode like immediately.
Immediately.
And if you're not P3, you gotta be like, you kill them and then you hide in an Omega Worm immediately.
Immediately.
Or you gotta use like Brute Lords to kill it. If you're fighting air, then
You're screwed.
That's good.
like later on, even if it's there will be at least a few air hybrid, and those guys, like if you're not P3, you're gonna need something that can hit them. And I don't know if Mutalisks are good, but
Oh, they will.
Like,
oh.
if you're using Ultra Hydra, like I don't think you can all run into the Omega Worm immediately before an explosion. So it's a lot of losses if
Yeah.
you're not careful. So
Yeah.
I put her in C.
Insanity.
In C?
C.
Oh, I think that's also where Eviling had him. Oh, wow.
Yep.
I had him in D because of the immobilization wave plus hide Omega Orbs and just stall them indefinitely with Omega Orbs. But both of you say C, so let's have him in C. Nova! Where do I have him?
Switch the order, so Kerrigan was supposed to be mine, but
My bad.
All right.
are we switching or are we just going back?
All right,
to
we switch.
Okay, so Nova has a similar problem to Phoenix, which is I definitely tried this. When you're fighting against air, like quick switching with liberators is not good enough. It's like you're gonna have to kill the air units, or you have Nova in sniping form, and that's not as good as others. Like if you're fighting ground, you're gonna destroy them because you just throw your turrets and then use liberators and they'll die. And you have Griffin airstrike, very easy. But if there's air at all, you're gonna have to kite with liberators or use secret missiles, and you need probably different control groups for those to make sure that you can like control them properly, move them around. And because of that, it will average out again to B.
Interesting. So Nova and Phoenix because air units exist or air hybrids exist. How about you, Eviling?
Nova, I put her in C. It's the classical.
Spicy.
She has a real expensive army that hits hard, but you got Hardened Will to deal with, and one mistake, you lose that army, and
pretty difficult
that's
to
all
replace.
that. Yes, yeah, hard to come back from that.
What do you think, Twotuuu?
Well, you do have airstrike, not airstrike, airlift.
Airlift,
So if you're like once every 2 minutes, you get to pick up your stuff,
Yeah.
which is hybrid waves don't come that frequently, so you only need it like once. The regular waves, you can deal with them. Like you don't have to worry about explosions. And
I think where Eviling is coming from is you can be on point for 99% of the game, but you literally need to only make one mistake to lose your entire army, and that's a lot of gas investment. Was that the point you were trying to make, Eviling?
Oh yeah,
It's
definitely.
quite...
I mean, the comeback for Nova is really hard, whereas like comeback from Raynor is like
or Phoenix
is
even.
just another Tuesday or
Yeah.
Phoenix, yes.
So yeah, with that in mind,
I-
Twotuuu, does it change?
That goes for like any. Well, this map mutually assured destruction hurts so much more, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh,
The problem is you have
I-
Liberators in siege mode, and they can't easily run away. They don't, especially when they're fighting air. They don't have that long of a range when they're fighting air. The guys in A we have so far, Alarak can just run or can just
Shove
shoot from
them
further back with Ascendants and shove them away. Dehaka has throwaway units. Karax has Spear of Adun and reviving Zealots. The guys in B, Abathur has Locusts. Arcturus has Inhumanity, which is easier to replace, and Phoenix also has units that are easier to replace. So I can't see C being a thing because Nova units are not easy to replace.
I guess. Well, it is another thing though. It is Temple of the Past. A Griffin airstrike lines up very, very easily.
Good point. Fantastic point right there. So
It's like you can take out all the regular enemies except like battle cruisers.
yes.
And they're all just gone, and then you focus only on the hybrid afterwards.
Is that good enough
You
to
don't
elevate
even-
them to B?
You don't even need airstrike for every regular wave. You just need them on the hybrid waves so
Yes.
that you kill the regular stuff.
Yes, but you have to know when the hybrid waves come. And I from the comments, from reading the comments, I'm pretty sure that like 80% of the co-op community still don't know when the hybrid waves arrive, which is crazy. Anyway, so does that average out to B? What do you to B? What do you think, Eviling? Is it this average to B or still C?
Okay, so definitely you're not using P3 for this. P1 or P0, P2, off chance using that to dodge nukes.
Could do that.
I definitely agree that the Griffin airstrike is going to help clear out a lot of stuff, take off Hardened Will, take off Inspiration, which will help a lot. But you still have to play the game of dodge nuke, and if you can do that on point, to
Great.
trust
Good for you.
a pub to do that is still iffy for
Yeah.
me. But
I
I
actually-
see with the statement about the Griffin airstrike. Yeah, I can see B happening.
Yeah,
But
I actually
the
still-
other point.
I actually agree with you.
The other point you
It's-
made was at map knowledge of when the hybrids are coming. Temple of the Past has
Two
different configurations. It's just like you have the enemy comp, you have the hybrid comp, and then you also have different patterns to deal with. So that's a lot of different factors for pubs to deal with.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
still think he's C, or I still think he's C after all things have been considered. Yes, the airstrike's good. Yes, the airlift's good. But for me, the most important thing is you only need to lose your army once, and it's ogre. It's all ogre,
We're all over your face.
all over your face. That's why I still haven't C. What do you think, Twotuuu? Are you gonna make a final push for
Alright.
B?
Well, that's so I guess I'll just say like if you are good at Nova, then you can treat it as a B. If
Yeah,
you're not,
yeah.
then treat it as a C.
I can agree with that. Yeah, we can put him in C. But if you think you're good enough at Nova, be our guest. Raynor, where do we have him?
From our run, you know what happened.
Oh yeah.
So if the enemy is
Spider-Mans.
ground and the hybrid are ground, he just spawn camps the map and
I
nothing
actually get a
gets
free win.
through.
I was just like sitting there thinking of what to say next. Well, hybrid's dead. Next, hybrid's dead. Next, enemy's dead. Next,
I spawn camped all the spawn points, all 4 spawn points. so
I basically I
don't
was
think-
basically
yeah.
just watching. I was a viewer.
So if you have any air units though, like
Super
especially if it's
competent.
Protoss, they all have observers, and then your also against Protoss, the hybrid Reavers have more HP, so that's gonna be an issue.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to spawn camp, that's like if you're just playing normally, it's gonna be much harder. Like if you're just trying to engage normally, that's very, very problematic. Hardened Will is not a thing, but Inspiration is a thing, and
Yes.
the enemies will hit harder, and your fragile units are gonna die a lot more quickly.
So use P1.
I put Raynor in C.
Put Raider in C. All right. But in the 10% chance that you get both hybrid and enemy comp to be ground based, he's probably higher than C. What do you think, Eviling?
Higher than C, yes, but you still need skill.
Yeah,
and
you guys put all the points where I had him. If you have nice comp, you can spawn cap, you have good knowledge of the map, he'll definitely be a B, not a problem. The spider mines will clear out ways before they even become a problem for you. If it's air, Raynor's Vikings are pretty damn good. And I mean, they have the range to do it, so they can set off those nukes if you're engaging them early, and then making sure you have that, use the lane to kind of fall back if they're getting too close, and then just try to keep them max range before they go off. But yes, see.
I think this is one of those instances where I forgot to mention this at the start of the recording, but I think this is one of those instances where clearing the lanes, full clearing the map, has a clear advantage over not doing it and just waiting for the enemies at the ramp. Clearing the lanes gives you so much fighting space. You can keep retreating, killing off hybrids one at a time, and not have them reach the temple. Whereas if you wait to receive the hybrid at your ramp, you're basically losing stuff all the time, and you're at heavy risk of getting the temple directly damaged.
Don't forget, if they come up the lanes, like there might be probes or SCVs that give Hardened Will.
My goodness. So yeah, anyway, so we all have him C?
Yeah.
Cool. Stat Boy, where do we have him?
Stat Boy, S. Zerglings, good. Soak up nuke, no problem.
All right, how about you, Twotuuu?
Yeah, this is my S commander because like
commander.
you Igor, all the regular enemies are dead. Then even if they're air hybrid, you just slowly pick them off one at a time with Super Gary, and you can fly. You can like fly away. Definitely you could turn on Blue Zone and fly away from the 2-second explosion.
Yeah, true. You can even have Hydralisks helping out, or if you're like me, Infestors, which might not help because hybrids sometimes just fly past everything. But you can do it if you want to. All right, S. Stukov, where do we have him?
Stukov. Lord of the Horde is not that good here because you need splash damage, so you're gonna need tanks no matter what. If they're air units, if they have air units, then I don't know what you're gonna really do. You like Liberators, you can fight, but like they get close and then you're gonna lose them. So if you're fighting against air hybrid pattern B, he's gonna do a lot of nothing. Like Diamondbacks, I guess, can work. You need to kill off the regular enemies, but if they're also ranged units, your Diamondbacks will get hurt trying to get close. I put him in C, maybe D.
Ooh, how about you, Eviling?
I have him in C also. Diamondbacks will probably be a good bet because they can kite. The problem that was hinted is air hybrids are going to be a big issue, and if you got them, then Diamondbacks can pull them down. Because they're heroic, they're going to be pulled down for like a second or so. So you're going to have a lot of Diamondbacks, which is not a problem if you're using P1. You just have to keep on dragging them down. But the range is like you're going to have to kill it, and you're going to have to be like right on the spot. As soon as it looks like it's about to go down, you need to be getting yourself away from it.
Yes.
So yeah, it's tricky. It can be done with Stukov. You can use Infested to hold waves, sorta, kinda. And the good thing is, like Infested, due to their low damage, just one hit damage. I mean, overall their DPS is good, but the low hit damage gets past Hardened Will. That's not a big issue, but still, yeah, it's gonna be hard to pull off. C.
All right. So the strategy for Stukov is die human backs. Swann, where do we have him?
Swann. So Swann has the tools. P1, P2, you're just gonna have all your defenses blown up. P1 will probably be your best bet because it's going to buy you that time, as if you can get vision of them. The laser drill will slow down the waves and hopefully pick off a whole bunch of stuff and get rid of Hardened Will inspiration, and then you just have the hybrids to deal with. And you do have kiting units in terms of wraiths or even cyclones. But yeah, it's saying that you can be relying on wraiths and cyclones is kind of getting into I have them at B, but I could easily be convinced to C.
Whenever I hear cyclones, I automatically think of that guy Rasmussen on the battle.net forums. We probably summoned him to this video just by mentioning that word. Anyway, Twotuuu.
Oh no, what have I started?
Twotuuu, how about you?
I think the mass factory strat is fine. Like you mass factories and you just fly them. You might have to move them around so that they don't all die to one explosion, but the AoE laser is gonna do a lot of work. And then
AoE laser.
The biggest problem is hybrid reavers. Everything else is and maybe behemoths, but everything else, like, they're a bit ranged, and you just have blaster abilities, and you might lose 1 or 2 to an explosion. But otherwise, air hybrid are not a problem because they'll fight the factories, and then they'll just slowly die. I wanted to try laser only again, but I decided not to, and I made turrets. So by making turrets, it was just a lot easier. So basically, if it's not hybrid reavers, it's easy. Also, with hybrid reavers, I guess you just need more sacrificial anti-ground turrets. Maybe even like keep your the warbots to like hold them in place. Maybe I put him in A.
A. Wow. What do you think,
his
Eviling?
factories are like sacrificial units.
What do you think, Eviling?
Swann's best unit is factories. There needs to be a stat that keeps track of how many factories you made in the game.
Probably.
So A, but the caveat is it has to be P1.
It has to be mass factories.
Yeah.
So, fun fact. Did you know that Eviling's photo is actually a photo of me? It's actually a photo of me taken when I lost all my rates to the same hybrid explosion. Don't do rates, guys. Don't do rates.
Yeah.
So, do you agree with A?
As I said, it's dependent upon P1 solely. So I would say that kind of takes it out of A range, in my opinion.
So you think he's more like B, which is not bad.
Yeah.
Landing him in B still puts him in like top 7. Yeah. He's not bad at all. What do you think?
Isn't like the ranking usually based on assuming you have all prestiges, and if you don't, then it's P0?
Yes.
But like a separate a footnote kind of ranking.
We always assume that you have all the prestiges.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then A it shall be.
All right.
You can also try P3 tanking, like
just tank the nukes.
No, like if you lose your you just drop
per tank.
No, that was a pun.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Tank the hybrid.
What do you think, Tychus? What do you think? Tychus, where do we have him? What do you think, Tychus?
So what did I use? I think I used P2. Yeah, I used P2. But if you use P0, P1, I think it's also fine. So Tychus grenade will kill all the regular enemies, and then you have medevac platforms to pull out when there's any explosions come in. You can also dump serious turrets to let them finish off the hybrid, which is, you can also use Sam to stun the hybrid before they die. With all those choices, I think I put him in A.
Why not S?
Because you gotta work.
Okay. Wow. How about you, Eviling?
I'm sorry. So Tychus, I have him in A. He has all the tools. You have to work at it, but he has a crowd control. He has ways to kind of divert waves, to delay waves, and he has a get out card that Nova would be completely jealous of.
A literal get out card. He has 3 of them actually. So, all right, both of you said I actually had him in S, but both of you said A, so let's have an A. Vorazun, where do we have him?
Vorazun. So she has a great ability called Black Hole. She has Time Stop to help delay the timings on the map, so it allows you to set up better. And I have her in B.
All right. How about you, Twotuuu?
I don't think Time Stop delays the timings for this map.
It actually happened for me. It delayed the timings.
Oh, really?
Some of them, not all. Like
some of them.
Yeah.
So like the next, if you time stop like at the spawn point, then it'll spawn after, right?
Something like that.
But then the next one, it will spawn at the normal time?
At the usual time, I think.
Yeah. Well, I think Vorazun, like, she has like the sucks against air problem, and because her Corsairs are invisible, the hybrid nemesis just fly past them.
Yes.
Like, you can shoot them unless you use a black hole on them, and you catch all of them. They're just like, if you catch one but the other one flies away, you're gonna have to deal with it.
Yes.
If you put cannons, they're gonna explode on your cannons. Ground, you have DT Blink, Shadow Guard Blink, which is fine, but against air, you're gonna need to know how to deal with it. And
yes.
I don't think Vorazun, like Black Hole, I don't know if players are good with Black Hole management or if they just panic Black Hole and then they just like end up wasting it.
Most of them either panic Black Hole or not use it at all. One of the two.
So yeah, I put Vorazun C, maybe like low C. I put D, but I don't think it's D.
All right.
Having 2 lives is good.
Yeah.
But like air is definitely a big problem.
Yeah. I put Vorazun in S because they have the foolproof strategy of teaming up with Twotuuu.
So get out jail card.
Get out jail card. What did you have, Eviling? C?
I have it B, but
B.
easily convinced to C. Easily convinced. In fact, I debated to put her in C at the beginning, but yeah, Black Hole, really strong ability, and being able to delay timings on a map can really help you and your ally out a lot.
My actual strategy was just confusing the enemies with the second prestige, just make them fight each other, so I don't have to. It kind of did work. We did well. Twotuuu got most of the kills, but from how it felt, I kind of had the sense that it probably can work. They'll fight each other, then there'll be a few units left, and you just black hole them and just finish them off. It felt like it would work, but again, I wouldn't know because Twotuuu did most of the work. I'm okay with
P2. You're never gonna outkill your ally.
Never.
Never. It's solely a support.
Because the kills come from either Amon himself or the kills will come from Amon himself because the units will either kill themselves when they're under your control or they'll kill themselves from the confusion. So Amon gets the kills from himself. Anyway, okay, let's have her and see. Zagara, where do I have?
So suicide units are good, and they have AoE suicide units. So P1 actually can be usable, but I use bio launchers because they're better.
Because it's you! Because you have to!
Better. It's like I don't have to pay. I just pay for them once and they do so much damage.
Right?
And like I put evolution chambers to like stall them, so hold them in place while I blast them away with bio launchers. Nothing gets hit. I put her in A.
All right. How about you, Eviling?
Yeah, disposable units or suicidal units. I definitely had her between A or B. So convinced if Twotuuu says A, I can easily be convinced to A.
I actually had them in B because the hardened shields and the nukes will waste a lot of your waves. If you know how to stagger your Bailing Scourge, she'll work really well. But most players I encounter just attack move everything all at once.
Yeah,
yep.
That's why
B.
I also was concerned if you only F2 everything, then no. You gotta drag click and send some in at a time.
You need to send your units in waves like Amon does. Learn from Amon, guys. Send your units in waves, especially against this mutator. Don't throw everything all at once. If you can do that,
P3 is better too.
Yeah, if you can do that,
use hunter killers to hold them.
Yes, if you can do that, yeah, A. But for most players, you need to know what you're doing. Anyway, all right, both of you say A. Let's have an A. Zeratul, cannon's good. S. Where do you have? Where do you have him?
About S, I had her in A.
A. All right.
Yeah, cannon's good.
Cannon's good. What do you think, Twotuuu?
Cannons are good, but not great. So A.
All right. There we have it. So we have a lot of guys in A. Alarak, Dehaka, Karax, Swann, Tychus, Zagara, and Zeratul. Are all of those 7 closer to each other than they are to S or B? Or are they really just at that tier?
Like, S is S because you don't even have to worry about explosions, whereas A, you kind of do.
Does Zagara
kind of have to worry
about explosions if she's going for Scourge Queen?
Well,
if you notice that you get in waves.
Yeah, you still have to worry a little because if you don't allocate your units like properly, you're gonna fight the next wave with very little.
All right, that's all I'm asking.
So yeah.
Okay, for
unless
C,
you have bio launchers, those are free.
Bio launchers free? In what world are you living in?
You buy them once and then they shoot for free. You lose all your units, you still have attackers.
I think the word you meant to say, Twotuuu, is they have staying power. They don't expend themselves right away. But yeah, let's use the word free. It's funnier.
One-time cost.
For C, we have also 7 commanders: Artanis, Han and Horner, Kerrigan, Nova, Raynor, Stukov, and Vorazun. Some of these guys feel like they should be D. Do we demote anyone from them?
Not Raynor.
Not Raynor? No, I was asking if we demote anyone. Do we promote anyone?
They're like, a lot of these are like under certain circumstances, they're like not bad. But if you're going in completely blind and relying on like random AI, random hybrid, they might not do very well.
Yeah. So do any of them feel like they're not on the same tier as the rest? Like they're just that bit weaker at everything, or they're really, really weak at something? Or are they all around C? Artanis?
I feel like Artanis is the only one where like no matter what the enemy is, he's not that good.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereas like the other ones are like if the enemy is ground, you do like okay, and then if they're air, you struggle a little.
Yes, I actually feel that way for Artanis.
I feel more leaning towards Stukov. Stukov is just like kind of you're just relying on Diamondbacks.
It's not mutually exclusive. We can demote both of them.
Yeah. Yeah,
What?
I'd be up for demoting both of them.
How about you, Tutu? Do we demote both
Yeah.
Artanis and Stukov? All right.
Stukov's not, because Stukov is tanks, but your tanks can't move. Like you can't run.
Mhm.
Deep tunnel. But yeah, they're
deep
slow.
tunnel, I
They're
guess.
slow at deep tunneling. And it's a long cooldown, so that makes sense. All right, so I've demoted Artanis and Stukov. Now, who's the best in A? I think Tychus could be the best in A because he
Crowd
feels
control
like
and delaying.
he has everything. And like I said, you can just have Blaze tank the nukes because he has hardened shields. If you're not
Cannonball.
Cannonball too, yeah, Cannonball also has that ability. I think he has revive or something.
Yeah.
Or- yeah, something like that.
Critical response.
Yeah. So if you don't use the second prestige, if you use either technical recruiter or dog walker, you can use one of those prestige, or you can use Blaze as your nuke absorber. That's what I think I have on top of A. Do you guys agree? Or someone better?
Yeah.
Just looking through all the A's real quick.
I think Dehaka might be a contender for top of A. Also, I think Zagara.
Zeratul.
Weirdly enough, Zeratul also, yeah.
I would argue Dehaka's not above Tychus because Tychus has a better means of crowd control, rather as Dehaka only has crowd control in the form of his roar.
All right. So Tychus top of A.
Yeah.
Who's second?
All right.
Zeratul or Zagara or Dehaka?
Not Dehaka.
Not Dehaka. All right.
I would put Zagara and Zeratul above Zagara. Above Dehaka.
All right. So, who do we like?
Who's our favorite?
If only Zeratul's Avatar of Essence could demote hybrids, that would put him like double S, because he doesn't have to worry about nukes anymore. If only.
Reverse
But alas,
transmutation.
yeah, reverse transmutation. I
Just
think
devolving. He does that to everything except the hybrid.
except the hybrid, and those are the ones we want to demote. I think just barely Zeratul still above because cannons are not taking actual damage. Just barely above.
Unless
Yeah.
hybrid
You don't-
get on your cannons.
Oh yeah, if hybrids get on your cannons, then well, same thing can be said for Zagara. If they get on top of your bio launchers, or if you don't,
On their hatcheries.
yeah, if you don't keep them in that spot where you want to keep them, that'll be painful. Yeah, Zeratul, then Zagara, right? Then is Dehaka next, or is
That's right.
Alarak next?
I think Alarak's higher than Dehaka just due to his ability to shove stuff
Yeah,
away
shove
and
stuff
buy
away.
more time.
Also,
like, shove it down the
Ascendance.
lane.
Ascendance,
Yeah,
you can do
okay.
the 1-2 punch of Orb, then Mind Blast. Yeah, I think Alarak's next. And then, for Alarak,
Karax
just to
and
clear, we don't
Swann.
need P3 for this. We don't need Shadow of Death for this one, right? Any Prestige will do because you use Ascendance anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, so next is Dehaka, and then Swann or Karax?
Yeah.
Alright,
Karax Swann.
Karax Swann. Okay, so for A, we have Tychus, Zeratul, Zagara, Alarak, Dehaka, Karax, and Swann. For B, I think Fenix is top of B.
Because if he fights ground,
Yeah. Plus, he can
then Abathur.
then Abathur, then Arcturus. Cool. For C, who's top of C?
Kerrigan.
You think Kerrigan's top of C?
No. I'm
No.
listing the
All
ones that are in C. Kerrigan, Raynor, and
Nova still has the asterisk.
Nova still has the asterisk, so she's top of C.
It's basically, if you don't think you'll lose your stuff,
Oh,
she can do a lot.
all right. So we'll put her
If
top
you're
of
gonna
C.
lose stuff. If you, yeah,
that's fair.
Nova top of C, and then
I would say Raynor.
yeah, I'm actually thinking of Raynor
Yep.
too because he has
On
spider mines
camping.
and he can just throw the Hyperion at big waves and just wait for them to kind of die. And then Kerrigan or Vorazun?
Kerrigan's at the
Uh,
bottom.
Kerrigan's at the bottom?
Kerrigan's definitely at the bottom.
All right.
Yeah.
So Hardened
Both of them
Horner
have air problems,
or
but
Vorazun?
Kerrigan's worse.
If we're talking about air problems, then Hardened Horner is above Vorazun,
Has
right?
to-
Because okay, so it's Nova, Raynor, Hardened Horner, Vorazun, Kerrigan. For D, who's less bad, Artanis or Stukov? Or are they both tied, so it doesn't really matter? They both just don't use them.
They're not completely useless. I would say Stukov is worse.
Stukov
Yes,
is worse.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that.
All right, so there you have it. Do we have any combinations, or do you have any pairs of B below that would together be above an S, above Stetboy?
Artanis, Raynor.
Yeah, Raynor
Garden
Artanis.
Shell.
The
Yeah,
usual.
Garden Shell.
But you might as well guard.
Or-
then you do that with Manx.
Yeah, Arcturus and Artanis. So Artanis and someone. Artanis is a great ally because you can just
If he's not playing
have
P3.
you just have Garden Shell. Also, Abathur is good at fighting air, and if that's Phoenix's only weakness, then collectively they'd be really good.
Yeah.
That's about it. All right. So guys, watch Twotuu's channel. I will link it down below, and I will see you guys next time. I'll also let you know if Evilink decide to make a channel. I'll link you there too.